Hey y'all, welcome back to another review with me. I am your host Maxine, and we are reviewing Ready to Love, Season 11, Episode 13, Detroit Reunion Part 1. Vince, hello? Let's just jump right into it. What? Okay, so immediately we see, just from the first few seconds of this episode, of this reunion, we see Vince say to Donna, "It's good to see you." Okay, so that immediately gives me the impression that they haven't seen each other in a bit and that they're not obviously together, nor are they still choosing each other like they did on the last episode of this show. So, okay, antennas are up. We jumpstart with their package, which was mighty long. Wasn't it long to y'all? I felt like their package was super long, but nonetheless, it gave, of course, the progression of their quote unquote love story on the show. And it ends with them choosing each other. So when Tommy asked the question, okay, so what's the update with y'all? Donna immediately responds with, "Who's y'all?" Tommy says, the two of y'all who was on the package we just saw. Like, what do you mean? So Donna tells us that she saw Lauren at a coffee shop that she frequents, and she and Lauren was just catching up, having small talk, and it just so happens to be revealed by Lauren. She just slipped it into the conversation saying that she's dating a couple of guys, or more than a couple, and including Vince. Vince is a part of that list of men whom she's dating. And apparently he's at the bottom of her list. So maybe she said it very flippantly, but I guess my question is, why did she need to say that? Was she trying to just let Donna know, hey, I know you and him chose each other, but just letting you know, me and Vince are still kind of seeing what's what. Like, what was the point of her even letting Donna know that if she wasn't already aware that they chose each other? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what was the point of that even being said? Was she trying to come to her woman to woman? Like, what was the intention here? So Donna, as calm as she is, she's explained this, and it doesn't seem like she had an argument with Lauren at that time during their sit down woman to woman talk at the cafe shop. But Donna kind of slips a jab at Lauren. She says how she doesn't understand what kind of woman would still say yes to a man or still date a man who clearly chose another woman to be his person, or this woman in his life. And she was also making she also said, clearly any woman that would accept that is someone who has low self-esteem or has no value. The way she put that together, y'all, was just, whoo. If that wasn't a read, I don't know what is. Okay, if that was not a read, I don't know what is. Lauren sitting back, just scrunching her face. And what's ironic about this moment is, throughout this season, we heard Lauren talk about how she felt like a quote unquote side chick when she was communicating or trying to talk to Bellow during the couples retreat, or during the retreat that they had. And Dominique was sitting near them, and Bella was turning to Dominique, trying to not really give Lauren too much attention. And she kept saying she felt like a side chick. She felt like a side chick. So for her to actively put herself in a position where, optically, at the very least, it appears as if she's a side chick again, it does make me question, I don't want to say her value, because I don't know. I feel like that's such a low blow. I don't want to do that. But it does make me question Lauren's psyche when it comes to dating, right? Like, even though from how Donna explained it, Vince was the lowest of her list of guys she was, and Lois as in like she wasn't really serious about him. She was just kind of seeing him yada yada yada, very light. But why would you still put him there if he chose someone else on Front Street? You know what I mean? So I don't know. And Lauren's defense, she's saying me and Vince never kissed. We never touched each other. We never, fondled each other. He never smelled anything on me, like type of thing. And it's like, okay, girl, but still, if that's the case, then why'd you even bring it up to Donna that you're dating him? If y'all never kissed, y'all never did anything, then were you really dating him? So, you know what I mean? So, like, what was the point of her telling that to Donna? Was she trying to trip Donna up? Was she trying to get Donna to back up off of that main spot position so she could claim that spot? What was the reason? So we get to this next scene, and Cardi's the main focus here, okay? Here on the couches is Cardi, what's her name? Ashley, Dominique, Nicole, and two other people, I forget. But anyway, so we talk about the topic, the trending, the consistent topic of Cardi being shallow, not having much depth to him, and how that's a problem, So Cardi, he says how he understands their perspective and how they could see it that way. But then he goes on and does the same thing that he's been doing, which is talk in the third person, talk in generalizations, and it just again was him doing it in real time, which I was so happy to see that he was called out on it yet again. And I feel like he doesn't recognize himself doing that. I feel like he's so on the surface that it's just regular speech for him, right? The way that he carries himself, the way that he communicates, it's just regular speech. He then goes on to say how to know me is to love me, and to hate me, that means you really love me, because it took a lot to hate somebody. And when you hate somebody, it feels like when you hate, it just, again, like, what are you saying? What are you talking about? And then who said they hated you, Cardi? Like, what are you saying? And that's the whole thing. You make these generalizations, you make these strange platitudes that have no meaning. It has no meaning. So then Dominique tries to kind of save him in the moment, because she says, how she's like, nobody hated you, Cardi. Nobody hated you. I enjoyed you. I enjoyed the jokes you had. I thought they were cute. I thought they were quirky. And to get to know someone, I don't need to have deep conversations. I don't want to have deep conversations. I like to keep it light. That's the problem, Dom. What are you talking about? You like to keep it light. That's why we haven't seen a scene between you and Bello talking about his baby, talking about what co-parenting looks like, talking about what that may look like with you and him. Like, that's why we haven't seen that. She just finally answered that for me. She doesn't like having deep conversations. That's very interesting. And then this scene wraps up with Cardi again not giving a direct response to anything. Tommy asked him, have you kept in touch with anyone? Is there anyone here that you still like to pursue? He said he's kept in touch with everyone, and to keep in touch with people, that means you have, like, again, he's not saying, well, I would love to still pursue Ashante. I would love to still pursue Ashley. I would love to see how things go. And he's just whatever. Ashante says that he's shared information with her that was on the deeper level, and she said she appreciated him doing that. But okay, like, really, I don't buy it. Let me say this, I don't know if he really, it may have been deep in the, I don't know, I don't buy it. Well, because what's deep to Cardi? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like the definition of deep is different. I really do, when it comes to him, because he fails to really dive deeper. I do think he's shallow, and not in a, I feel like sometimes shallow is said in a in a negative connotative way, because shallow is typically said if you only judge people by their physical appearance, right? Like, oh, you only care about your physical appearance. You don't care about growing your emotional. I mean, I guess technically he is shallow then. But he doesn't come across like he's someone who only cares about the physical, right? Like, it seems like he does care to have deep conversations or have deep philosophical thoughts, but it's never particular to him. It's just a generalization. I mean, it doesn't matter. At this point, this scene is corny. Who cares? Cardi, God bless. So we get on with this next scene, y'all. Vince is still the main character. Vince is still the main character. So we get to the package with Nicole and her obsession or unrequited love for, what's his name again? Her college crush. I forget his name. Oh my gosh. But anyway, he's been told again that he comes across emotionally unavailable. Ashley says that he is her type, just like physically, he is exactly who she would go for. And she has been vocal with him about her interest for him, yet he doesn't take the shot. And I mean, that could be one of two things, because she's like, oh, he's emotionally unavailable. Maybe he just wasn't into you either, right? Maybe he just wasn't into you, period. So regardless of you letting him know you like him, and though you being a beautiful woman, that doesn't guarantee him to feel the same way. Like, so this whole, like, oh, well, he's so unavailable. Maybe he just doesn't like you, period. Like, maybe he just, I don't know. But I do still believe that he is emotionally unavailable. I can't remember his name. I don't feel like looking it up. But anyway, so there's that. So now we get to Nicole's feeling about him, and how she is now, what happened after the show. She starts explaining that she started, like, she tried to date or tried to get to know him further or tried to connect with him, but he wasn't showing any interest again. And then you see Ashley in the corner talking about he never was interested. Like, he never was. It felt like Ashley was low-key annoyed with Nicole and her obsession over this guy. And look, I could see how Nicole came off annoying with it, because you doing all this crying. She's trying to give us some context here. Like, I had to eliminate him after our first day. We finally had our first day, and I had to eliminate him the next day. And it's like, girl, that date wasn't even anything, because she thought that date meant, oh, there could be something there. It's all in your head, Nicole. And I'm saying this with grace for her, because I get how you could like conjure something up in your head so much so that you fail to see the reality of it and it not being what you fantasize. So we get to Nicole revealing to us that she was interested in still kind of seeing where things go with two other guys from the show, including Devon and Vince. Then she alludes that things have now since suddenly changed with one of the men who she referenced, but she didn't want to say Vince's name directly. She just made it clear that since the earlier part of the recording of this reunion show, she learned new information. You see Dom and Ashley in the corner talking about, Vince, you mean Vince? Just say his name. Name him. And I don't know why Nicole wasn't naming him. I don't know why she's sitting there like, I feel like Nicole gets off that innocent energy and she doesn't want to be a part of any drama. And look, I could appreciate her not being this rah type of girl. And I did kind of appreciate her saying to Ashley, because Ashley tried to cut her off. Ashley was saying, okay, but why were you still trying to go out? So she had to say, I would love to still finish Tommy's question. So that was a nice little, okay, look at you stand up for yourself. So that's nice. And Ashley shut up. She's like, oh, okay. But I still don't get why Nicole wanted to protect Vince in that moment by not saying his name when it was obvious that she was referring to Vince. We learned that Nicole not only dated or was still actively seeing and dating Vince, but she said it like this. She said, we were dating up to the highest level. What does that mean? You know what that means. They were having sex. Okay? That's what that means. They were having sex. And they were having sex. So she feels disappointed that of course she learned that he picked Donna and he was also seeing Lauren. And not just that, she didn't know that he picked Donna. None of that was communicated to her by Vince. We also learned that Vince told Nicole, he told her he and Donna are not together. Nothing serious going on between him and Donna. And what else he said? He said, he's talking about, oh, me and Donna are not on the same page. Okay, but you chose her. And look, maybe they just chose each other for the optics of the show. Okay. But still, you're not keeping it a bean. And I felt bad for Nicole here. I felt like she looked like a dodo. She's like, I didn't know. And she over here giving her highest power of love for this, not love, but you know what I mean? She's saying she dated him to the highest. And that means they had sex. So we get this weird backstage scene between Donna, Vince, and Nicole at the same time. Now we saw shots of Lauren. I don't know if she saw them, like if she was in the room too and just witnessing from a distance, or she saw video footage of it as she was in another room. But the scene was primarily between Donna, Nicole, and Vince. So Nicole's trying to explain to Donna exactly what happened, how there was like a 2-week period in which she wasn't really hearing from Vince, and she was reaching out to him trying to understand, is he not talking to her anymore because he chose Donna? What's going on? Vince reassures her, no, it's not that. It's not that. Don't worry about that. So again, not letting her know what it was, whether it was or not. But he's saying, Vince's defense, he's saying, well, me and Donna weren't together at the time, so that's why I said that. Like, so just like this on and off type of energy. So then Nicole reveals, yeah, it wasn't until recently me and you got physical. So okay, so that means at that point it was definitely post him choosing Donna, but not at any point did he let Nicole know, hey, I did choose Donna. Maybe it lasted for a month and we realized it wasn't going to work out. I don't know. But again, you have all these background conversations, background overlap going on, and no one is aware of this. It's all a surprise. Now, you may think, well, what's the big deal? These are grown people. No one was in a committed relationship. No one was necessarily betrayed. But I do think there's a level of dishonesty that took place. And that means there was a form of betrayal, right? Like, granted, Donna and Vince didn't fall in love with each other, didn't move in and have this committed type of relationship. But keep it a bean. Just be honest from the beginning. Like, hey, I know me and you have chosen each other, but I do want us to still date around. I don't know. Donna did say he communicated that they will date around, but he never said, according to her, he never said, and he admitted it to it, but he said apparently he never said that he was still seeing Lauren, or like, he wasn't giving the details. And not that he has to give the detail of what he's doing with whoever else he's dating, but you should let me know, hey dog, hey girl, by the way, I'm still seeing a couple of other women from the show. I think that's fair to request. Like, what? Oh Lord, Vince, I was rooting for you, man. I was really rooting for you. And then before I even move on, we see Nicole trying to like apologize in a way to Vince. She says to him, like, no, first she gestures for him to hold her hand. She's seated. She's trying to get him to come closer to her. He's telling her, no, that wasn't cool for you to say that. That's not how I roll. You made things messy. And she's trying to apologize in a way, like she's trying to reassure him, hey, I didn't mean, like, it felt like she was trying to still be with him or still be in his good graces so that he would still hook up with her however he so fits. Did y'all peep that energy? And then she gets up and hugs him, and he says, no, come on, stop. Now you can't do that. Stop. That this doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. And then he says, oh, your makeup's going to be on my show. It just felt like, dang, Vince, this is how you going to talk to her? So is Donna your main chick and you want to make sure no one else is getting, making her feel jealous or some type of way? What is the issue here? Because if you guys were all still dating multiple people, what would it matter if Donna sees you getting hugged by Nicole? All of this like extra movement that's happening, I feel like it's unnecessary. I feel like it's immature. And I'm very disappointed with Vince. I'm very disappointed. So we get this scene with Christina. And I forget her name is like long. Christina, Lima, Ina, Fina. I don't know. But she goes by Christina, so shout out to her. She's looking a little cute. I thought it was gonna be a little announcement. I thought she gonna say maybe, and you know, as I'm reviewing, I'm watching it in live time and I'm pausing and I'm coming in with my commentary. So that's why the way that I'm reviewing, it sounds like I don't know what's gonna happen next because I don't know what's gonna happen next until I watch it. But anyway, I was under the impression. And maybe stop doing that because obviously, you know, women, you know, someone who has fluctuated with her weight at times and currently, I get it, right? So there's that. But still, a part of me was thinking, oh, is she going to come on the show and be like, hey, by the way, I had a baby or I'm about to have a baby? Because she's looking a little bit more plump. She's still a beautiful woman. Don't get me wrong. But anyway, we talk about the topic of provision and the whole massage gate, right? She makes it clear. I did not ask any man for a massage or to give me money to go get a massage. Instead, she made it clear her need was to be massaged. She's feeling sore. She would love to get a massage. Devin felt like, as they were talking about it in their private conversation, he kind of felt like it was his idea to give her a massage. So he immediately cash apped her. And you see everyone else calling him a simp, a sucker. He fell for it. But Devin also explains that he's the type of person where he didn't see it as a big deal. Like when he's dating a woman, he sees it as just another date, another expense that he makes when pursuing a woman. So that wasn't an issue for him. But when he later found out that she asked or posed this same concern of like, oh, my back is hurting, I would love a massage, when she said the same thing to other men, he felt some type of way about it. And so did Chris. Bello then, with his diplomatic self, talking about, it's clear that your love language is gift giving and acts of service, and everyone deserves to express that, right? Whatever your love language is, you have the right of that. But he felt like it was too quick in the process to provide such a thing, and that's something that he will happily do, but gradually, which that's understandable. But her point is she starts getting emotional, actually. She starts getting emotional. She starts tearing up. I don't know if that's the actress in her, because I think she said something about her being, I know she's a singer, but, she's probably an actress too. But she starts getting emotional, talking about she needs, a man of God. The Bible says, guard your heart. How am I going to open my heart if you can't provide? It's like, okay, girl. This shouldn't, and look, it's her right to feel however she feels about it, right? And if she is used to, and have grown accustomed to men immediately providing for her, then so be it. I'm sure there's someone else who would provide, and that's what it is. But I do understand how earlier in the process, or I do understand how it's too early in the process to expect that or get upset when someone doesn't fulfill that immediately. At least give them a chance to show that later. Ooh, all right, so I just finished watching the last scene, and my God, today, just when I thought Vince was the worst one for this episode. Just when I thought Vince had held the title. No, Bello said, watch this. Bello said, hold on, give me 5 minutes of the last part of this episode. So we learn that who's this? Bello. We learned that Bello and Dom are no longer together. And the ending of their relationship was rather abrupt. He apparently broke it off a couple of days. No, was it on Christmas Day? But here's the thing. I mean, that doesn't matter, right? Whether it was on a Tuesday or Christmas Day. Who cares, right? People in the backstage, the peanut gallery talking about, oh, that's so fucked up to do it on Christmas Day. What? Can we stop putting so much meaning behind these man-made religions, or these man-made holidays, I should say? Not to offend anyone, but I feel like because capitalism is so strong, if Christmas wasn't this big ass holiday, right? If we weren't conditioned to look at Christmas as a day to buy all these gifts that you can't afford and run up your credit just to give your kids all of these toys that they'll forget about in 3 months. But hey, Merry Christmas. When we forget the actual meaning of it, if you want to bring it there to Christianity. But aside from that, though, Bello is not Christian. Hello? Can we go there? Bello is not a Christian man. He's a practicing Muslim. That is his identity. He's been saying this from day one, okay? When I look up the term practicing Muslim, I see Bello. That's how many times he said this, okay? So this idea of him being messed up for breaking it off with her on Christmas Day, it was a Tuesday for him. It wasn't Christmas Day. It was a Tuesday for him. All in all, we get that Bello broke it off with Dom because he didn't see a future with her. He didn't see her to be his wife and mother his children. And he was told in his past relationship that as soon as you don't see a future with me, let me know immediately so that you could release me and I could move on to someone new. So he took that advice and applied it to this relationship with Dom. And he thought that he was doing the right thing. And here's the thing, though. I feel like there wasn't there's no right day to break up with someone, right? So I think even if he did it the right way, right? Even if he never enmeshed himself with her family, or maybe kept some distance from doing that, it still would have been hurtful. Like, she still would have been hurt. So it doesn't matter. I get the fact that it's more hurtful because he met her parents and he met her children. But I feel like with Dom, I think she's the type of woman who would like sneak in. Oh, my kids are over. You should just come over. Or no, hey, you should just come over. No, here's a scenario. Here's how I see it. I feel like Dom, say she has grown kids, but every Friday her grown kids come over the house and she cooks them dinner. Um, and it was the same day in which Bello was going to come over the house too. And Bello arrives and sees, oh, your kids are here. And Dom's like, oh yeah, this is JJ and Rachel. Those are her kids' names. I'm just making them up. But hey guys, this is Bello. Bello's my man. Like, I feel like she just slides it in. I feel like that could have been the scenario. I don't think it was like a formal sit down of meeting my family. Now, of course, she did it on the show because that was a part of the show. But, to meet the parents or meet family, and she introduced her parents to Bello. But I don't know. I feel like men don't take it seriously. Like, can we just stop there? Men be introducing you to their sister, their grandma, and be fucking three other bitches. Like, oh, what are we saying? But nonetheless, he enmeshed himself in her family. But she said something here. She said that she didn't meet any of his family. Hello? She didn't meet any of his family. But why is that? Why am I introducing you to my whole lineage and I haven't met your mom? Right? What? Hello? So that's something there. That's something interesting right there. Anyway, Dom slips in that he had a girlfriend the whole time, and basically she didn't deserve the way he broke it off. She also made another claim that he didn't see a future with her because he didn't see a future. His future was looking bleak. He didn't have any money coming in. He's a brokey. I guess he was coming off like a brokey, or maybe he said some things that gave the impression that his credit was low. Right? And she would have respected him more had he said, look, I'm not ready for a relationship right now. I need to get my finances in order, my ducks in a row. And she would have respected that. But even so, I feel like she still would have been hurt by that. There really is no right way to go about it. All in all, we get the update that they are not together. Of course, there is a part 2 to this reunion, so we'll see more on that episode. But that was definitely an exciting end to this episode of the reunion. Let me know what y'all think about this reunion. What are your thoughts? Leave it down low in the comments. Be sure to subscribe to this channel. Click that thumbs up button. That is your way of liking this video and keeping the algorithm pushing with my content. I really appreciate that. Shout out to our newest subscribers. I had a new subscriber. I got notified a few days ago. Oh, hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Something with a V. Girl, hold on. I'm going to give you a shout out because shout out to you. But yeah, I want to just appreciate you guys for subscribing. I just love every bit of it. And I look forward to, okay, good. I'm happy I found it. New subscriber, shout out to Vazzy Vaz. Hope I'm saying it right. Shout out to you for subscribing to my channel. I really appreciate that. And I hope you are enjoying this content. Leave some commentary. What are your thoughts, Vazzy Vay? And, no, Vazzy Vaz, sorry. And anyone else, shout out to y'all. And I'll see y'all next time, y'all. Bye.